Welcome to module number 9, Public Relations or PR, Promotion, Press Releases. It's all geared up so the media companies will provide free coverage for your product, service, or your company to their readers or viewers and to the mass consumer market out there, resulting in exposure and contacts and sales and all great things for your company. So to get started, I want you to understand that the media will only provide coverage if whatever it is that you're saying is interesting, and it's going to be interesting to their readership or their viewership, rather than something that's boring that's going to decrease their viewership or readership. So you want to make sure or ensure that your product or service or company has got an angle and a story that's attractive, whether it's related to something exciting that's currently happening in the media, or related to a trending product category right now, or whether it's just the great results from your product or service or company that's going to have the media provide coverage. But you need to work out your angle or your story so that it indeed gets their attention and is attractive enough for them to cover you and put the story in their publications. So I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what I did myself that was very successful. I had a product I developed years ago called Magic Pens. They were felt marker pens, not very exciting, although they did change color, erase color, and do three-dimensional designs. But they weren't very exciting to the publications as that stood. And it wasn't until I came downstairs one morning after my daughter had a birthday party sleepover, and all the girls were in the dining room, and they had their magic pens and their paper, and they were all drawing. They were drawing three-dimensional designs and highlighting and all sorts of really cool stuff. And they were really excited. And we started putting artwork back up in the fridge again, like my mom used to do when I was a kid. And I was really touched by this, but I thought, hold on a second, we have an angle here. When they're putting down their smartphones and their social medias and they're just disregarding that, and they're going back to the good old-fashioned creative artwork, then we're on to something. Doesn't every parent want that? So at that point, I really started to form my PR strategy. And what it was comprised of was 3 areas, and I want to share them with you. So what I want you to do is to take good notes and get this stuff down, because this free exposure and everything that comes from it is worth its weight in gold. So getting started, number 1, you want to reach out to your local media, your local newspaper, radio station, television station, your local media publications, and you want to introduce yourself, and you want to introduce your story, your angle, whatever it is that you're so excited about, because these local media outlets have an obligation to cover you. If you're doing great stuff in your community, and if you're entrepreneurial, they should cover you so that they inspire other people to get entrepreneurial, so they've got economic activity that's brewing on a local basis. That's one of the obligations for your local media. So definitely reach out to them. And when I say reach out to them, I'm telling you to call them directly and ask them specifically who it is that would cover your story. And take down their name, take down their telephone number and their email, and you want to communicate with them and tell them what you got. And if you're not getting coverage right away, do not be discouraged by that. This is a journey. This is a process. So you're going to want to have a long-term vision, and you're going to want to get coverage, and you're going to want to get further coverage. So you want to make a press release every time that you have something that's newsworthy, and you want to send it to this list of media contacts that you put together. So that's local. But I want you to think about your national and international media publications that relate to your products or service. So if you have a computer type product or a technology type product, business product, you may want to target the magazines in the tech space, in the computer space. If you've got a product for kids or parents, you might want to go to those specific publications and magazines. And again, you're looking at the contact information online and call them directly. So you can also reach out by email or social medias or whatever it is, but I say specifically get it done quick by calling them and making that communication, getting their data and sending out the information. And you want to continue to follow up every time you have something newsworthy by putting out a press release. And you'll email these individuals, and hopefully it translates into coverage in their media publications. Now, the way to communicate with them, I said you have to have an angle and an exciting story, but that really is conveyed through press releases. And press release writing is very important. You don't want to just send out an email. That doesn't look great. Now, when it comes to press release writing, there's this very specific formula and method on how to do this. And it's very easy to look up press release writing on YouTube or Google it. And you'll see that when it comes to the titles in your press release, your subtitles, your contact information at the bottom, and specific pieces of content you want to have in this press release, that's what these writers and these media people are looking for. So they're going to want to see this punchy data jump right out at them, and it's got to be formatted correctly. So indeed, look that up and get the formula down. It's not difficult, but you need to get it done. That's step number one. Step number two is you want to get into crowdsource funding, okay? So the Kickstarters, Indiegogos, look them both up and use both of them if you can. But they have a specific method, and they've got a following, and they've got a system that's proven to be extraordinarily successful. So you want to follow their steps and get your product listed on their crowdsource platforms. And once it's listed, they're going to ask you. They're going to have a specific formula, and there are other formulas you can look up online if you want to go to YouTube or Google and figure it out. But ultimately, once you've created your campaign and you're listed on these particular companies' platforms, they're going to ask you to text this campaign out to your contact base, to email it out. They're going to ask you to post it on your social medias. And I'm telling you right now, have no reservations and do it all. These guys are already proven, right? They're established. They got their processes. And because this is your product or service and your company, and you know that it's going to bring a benefit to your consumers, it's going to make things easier, quicker, better, faster. So you actually have an obligation to get it out to everybody. So follow their formula, have complete faith. And if you don't understand it, then have blind faith, because Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they are what they are, and they're hugely successful. So follow their processes. That's step number two. Step number three is that you want to get on the most popular medium out there right now. It always has been, and it currently is, television. So you can get free television exposure on the Dragon's Den or the Shark Tank. I did it, and it was worth its weight in solid gold. So here's the deal. You need to understand that when you're applying for these, it's easy, and you're actually going to get in front of them, and you're going to have an audition. But I want you to be thinking that when you do this audition, it's the exact same as you're being on the television program. And what they want is they want their viewers to be interested. So you got to be exciting. You can't be boring like toast. You got to be spicy. And you got to have some sort of an angle, as we talked of earlier. And it could be good, bad, or indifferent, but you got to be interesting and you've got to be entertaining. So when you're actually auditioning, make sure that it's all of those things, and make sure you understand that these people are looking at you through the eyes of their viewers, and they're thinking, is this going to be good entertainment and good programming for our viewership? So make sure that you have those things put together. And once you have these three things that are moving, they're all put together, they're in place, you're going to have all sorts of hullabaloo happening around your product or service in your company. There's going to be all sorts of buzz. And right now is the ideal time for you to capitalize. So in my other modules, I talk about advertising, direct response, and I want you to put together a direct response campaign. It can be local direct response, it could be newspaper, it can be television, radio, it can be Facebook or social medias. When you have all this buzz and hullabaloo going on about your product, service, and company, now is when you'll actually put together these direct response campaigns. And do not hesitate to advertise. Okay, you want to get traction right away and put together these campaigns. And that is what's going to resonate because you have all that buzz going on. You need to capitalize. So now is the time to launch. And you're going to see the results of your campaigns. It's going to be manageable, it's going to be measurable, and that data is invaluable. So you're going to be able to improve and capitalize the best you can. So with all that said, take advantage of all that momentum. Now is the best time ever for you to do that. So with all that said, that's the end of section 9, public relations.